Welcome to the Enchanted Sanctuary, the podcast for women ready to explore self-discovery and spiritual growth. Whether it's mastering your mindset, exploring energy work, or tapping into your intuition, this podcast is your go-to toolbox for spiritual and inner work. Think of it as a cozy chat with friends, where we celebrate the magic of growth and the beauty of becoming your true self. Each week, I'll talk with amazing women who share their personal journeys and the tools they've discovered to inspire and empower others. So if you're ready to embrace your path, discover new tools, and feel inspired, hit subscribe and join me in Enchanted Sanctuary. Hi, it's Nikki here and welcome back to Enchanted Sanctuary. And today I'm on my own and I'm going to be talking about letting go. It's one of these phrases, these sayings that seem to fly around the inner journey work, the spiritual world, and people don't always get what it means or think, what exactly is letting go? And I remember when I first was attuned to Reiki 1 and my Reiki master at that time talked about letting go. And I said to her, yeah, I'm pretty good at letting go. And she said, well, it's a little bit harder than that. And I never really understood the concept. And I think when you're starting out on your journey, it's not always easy to understand. And even during a long way down the journey, it can still be a really hard concept to grasp. At that time, I just thought it was about, not being too bothered about things, just letting situations go. But letting go is so much deeper. And I want to start this podcast with a situation where I was given an image, I think, that really explains about letting go. When I was going through that dark night of the soul, when I was going through all these money worries, I got to a point where I just could not cope anymore. And I was driving to work and I remember stopping in a car park, and I can still remember the exact place I stopped at. Stopped the car, closed my eyes, and just almost shouted out, for goodness sake, Divine, I can't take this anymore. Just help me, please. It was that desperate. And I was given an image of handlebars. I was thinking, what? And they said, let go of the handlebars. And the concept was, in actual fact, that I was trying to gear this bicycle with the handlebars, like trying to go left. And the divine was trying to make me go right. And what happens when you're fighting over the handlebars? You fall off. And they just told me, pedal, just do what you love doing. Just keep the energy going. Just keep moving forward. Take your hand off the handlebars and just enjoy the ride. And it was really from that moment on that everything started to change. I understood what they were saying. That the fact that there was something bigger at work. Something else was supporting me, driving me, guiding me. And being this earthling, I was trying to think, well, I'm all alone. I've got to guide this thing. I'll go this way. And trying to force things. Whereas all I needed to be doing was just almost just to give that worry, to give that difficult situation to the divine, knowing that there's no ulterior motive behind it. And just keep going. Just do what I love doing and just keep going forwards. And it's really at that point when things really significantly started to change. And I use that handlebar image so often with so many people because it just speaks volumes. And letting go is really about, and it kind of ties in with this other phrase above that's also thrown around, which is to be in the flow. And the other way I like to talk about this analogy is, imagine if you're on a river. And when you're struggling, you think you're going to drown, you're trying to fight against the water, you're kicking, and you end up trying to sink. But if you just laid back and just put your hands out, your arms out, and just laid on the water, you would float. And this river then just takes you, it just flows you to where you need to be. So again, it's about letting go of this struggle of trying to swim upstream, if you like. But if we just lay back and just allow things to flow through us, everything starts to change. We begin to see the magic. And so letting go and being in the flow isn't about just sitting back and doing nothing and watch the world go by. It's very far from that. It's just do what you love doing. Do what I'm a generator of human design, and we'll have somebody on this podcast in a while talking about human design. And everything I need to be doing needs to come from joy. If I'm not doing it in joy, I'm not in the right place. And so for me, being in the flow means just doing what I love doing. Find that joy in whatever moment that is, and give everything else up to the divine. Let the divine worry about it. And there's so many ways of looking at this. One is that the divine has kind of like other plans for us. They know exactly what's going on. So you can almost think about like little puppets, and they're just pulling the strings. You're just doing what you're doing, and they can see the whole scene. They can see the whole bigger picture. And it's also about, not needing to worry, because why worry? If we can change something, then we don't need to worry. If we can't change it, then it's wasted energy, so not to worry. So it brings us back right into that just being in the flow moment. And yeah, for me, letting go is really just getting on with what I'm here to do, and kind of like not even forget the rest, but just allow the rest to flow through me. It's it's just keep coming back to that handlebar analogy of just letting go of the handlebars. And if you're going downhill on a bicycle and you just let your hands off and you just wheel the way down, it's that kind of feeling. Or the feeling of, like on like the Big Dipper, the big rides, where you just put your hands up and you just allow that to go up and down and just breathe all the way through it. And I just want to talk about a couple of oils, because it might help to bring through as well also what I'm trying to talk about through the write-ups of these oils. The actual fact, the two oils I don't really like the smells of. The first is Arbor Vitae, which to me smells kind of like cars, petrol. It's a really weird, so it's a very strange smell. No, in actual fact, the last time I smelled this, I really didn't like the smell of it. Now it almost feels like that the more I smell this, the more it smells like leather, like really beautiful smell of leather. Like like wood polish as well comes to mind, a really good quality, like almost like beeswax wood polish. And the other one is cypress. Cypress is a bit more of a weird smell. That's one I'm really a bit icky about. But I'm just going to read these to you because it might just help. So cypress is about motion and flow. This powerful oil creates the energetic flow of emotional catharsis. Stagnant energies are brought into motion through the fluid energy of this oil. Cypress works in the heart and mind, creating flexibility. Cypress teaches the soul how to let go of the past by moving with the flow of life. This oil is especially indicated for individuals who are mentally or emotionally stuck, stiff, rigid, tense, overstriving, or have perfectionist tendencies. This hard driving stems from fear and the need to control. The individual tries to force things in life rather than allowing them to unfold naturally. And people say, if I'm giving up control, it means, what's going to happen? And it's this real fear, like this thing with the handlebars, of letting go. And that fear of letting go is really with the trust of the divine, knowing that there is always a net to catch you. And this takes me straight back again to when I was divinely guided. And I talk about this when I talk about my story, which will be coming out on the podcast after this, where I was guided to go back to the UK. I was living in France at the time. Divine told me, basically shouting at me, to move back to the UK. And I had to totally let go and trust. I gave up my job. I gave up my home, my car, my cats, my everything, the whole thing. I gave up nearly all my possessions. I went back with 30 small boxes. And I really had to trust that there was something bigger than this. If the divine was guiding me to give up my dream, that I'd had this dream since about the age of 10 or 12 to live in France, And here I was, happening in 2020, that I had to just completely let go and trust the bigger plan. And the fact of me moving back to England allowed me um, to really make peace with the English side of me that I had completely denied almost all my life. And especially with the 20 years to that point, 20 years of living in France. So it allowed me to almost complete, to find that missing part of me, which was the English part. And that then led on as well to finding my now husband, twin flame, divine partner. And if I hadn't have made peace with that English part of me, I would have not have been comfortable where I am now, living with an English man in an expat community. That was everything that I had gone against all my life. And so completely happy. Now I'm truly living my dream. So I had to absolutely trust this whole process of letting go and just jumping. And I think that is the biggest part of letting go. And I'm not going to ask you to, letting go is about giving up your whole life. It's knowing that whatever happening, there is another reason for it. And, letting go of all the fears. Letting go, we can talk about for hours with all the different fears that can come up and why we're not letting go, and this perfectionism. Anyway, I'm getting off track. If I want to go back to the oil. Cyprus encourages individuals to cast aside their worries and let go of control so they can enjoy the thrill that comes from being alive. It reminds individuals that damnation is simply the discontinuation of growth and development, and invites them to step out of the way and allow life to flow freely without compulsion. Cyprus shows how to have perfect trust in the flow of life. So that's exactly what I was saying. And for me, the flow of life, this flow is like the river, that once we lay back on this river and we stop struggling, we stop trying to strive going down upstream, just allow that to flow downstream, it will take us to exactly where we need to be. And this always also brings me on to things like goal setting and vision boards, that when we are so fixed on a desired outcome, we don't see the other potentials. We so want this end result, but we don't know if this is the best thing for us. And so it's kind of always like this thing or more. And I think this is where vision boards kind of fail. And I've created something called emoji boards, which I've been talking about on the podcast, where if you're so fixed on the things you put on the vision board, that I want this house and I want this job and I want this car, in actual fact, you are stopping for any other higher possibilities to come through. That house that you're so wanting to live in, well, maybe when you get there, you won't actually like it, because it's almost like your ego, it's your human self that thinks, I want this expectation, I want this goal. But in actual fact, the divine knows that something else is totally different. It's so much better for you. So it's kind of letting go of that final result. I mean, use that final result as if you're as a direction, but know that on that direction there could be deviations, you could be taking a different road. So it's just really being in the flow with what comes to you. Just like I said about when I was living in France, that I thought I would be here until the end of my days. For me to actually give up that dream and thinking, that's it, I'm not going to be in France ever again, goodbye France, I had to totally let go. But what actually happened, I came back to France in a totally different area, an area where I'm so much happier. But I didn't know that at the time. So, that really tested me, completely tested my trust, and really tested me. Am I really able to let go? And I truly was. And so the other oil, the Arbor Vitae, I will just find it. So the Arbor Vitae is the oil of divine grace. Arbor Vitae assists individuals who believe or act like all progress must be made through struggle and solitary effort. Instead of trusting in the divine, these individuals unconsciously block divine aid, choosing instead to live by their own efforts. Arbor Vitae addresses the need to control one's outcomes in life. It invites individuals to live with peace and joy by trusting in the abundant flow of divine grace. This is very similar to Cyprus. Arbor Vitae is also a grounding oil that teaches divinity is all around. Divine grace can be felt and experienced here on earth. It is not distant or separate. The divine can help find balance in life and teach what to hold close and what to release. Arbor Vitae Latin name means to sacrifice. This oil invites individuals to sacrifice their personal will and ambitions for a far more fulfilling way of living. By surrendering to the divine, the mind relaxes and the soul experiences harmony and peace. Arbor Vitae teaches that true strength can come through emptiness or a willingness to receive divine strength. It asks individuals to relax, take a deep breath, and trust in the flow of life. Arbor Vitae assists the soul to live effortlessly by divine grace. And that is so true with this effortlessly by divine grace, that once you're on that river, once you just lay back, what energy are you spending compared to the energy you're doing of trying to row upstream and you're kicking and you're trying to fight against a current? There's so much energy being wasted there. Whereas once we get into that flow of life, we literally just flow, and the energy takes, the divine takes us to exactly where we need to be. And we have no idea really what that is. And that also brings up to another concept that I always thought about was, it's out of your radar. So we can only see, if you imagine like the radars that air traffic controllers use. So you can only see within that radar. We can see the planes coming in. We know exactly where things are. And that's where we are, like at a conscious level. But we have no idea what's outside of that radar, what is also coming in, the amazing opportunities, the abundance, the flow. So it's kind of knowing that we only know what we know, but we don't know what else is coming in. And that is all to let go of, because that is where the divine is bringing it into us. So I hope that helps to a point of understanding about letting go. And if anything that you take away from this podcast, it's that vision of the handlebars, of just letting go of the handlebars. It's so much easier. There is actual fact a meme where there is like two hands almost trying to grasp, and the one that's trying to hold on is trying to hold on to a rope, I think it was, and the hand was red raw trying to hold on. And the meme says it's actually fact it's more painful to hold on than it is to let go. And that is so, so true. And it's just about letting go. And once you let go, and that, I'm trying to finish this podcast, but more things keep coming into mind. That once we let go of something, so much better comes back to us. It's this flow that comes back. And sometimes we could be in such a dark place that we're trying to hang on for every last moment, everything that we have left, every joy, or the person we're with, or the job that we have, or something. And we're hanging on to it, but dear might. But the minute we let go, we're thinking, okay, I trust, that's when the magic happens. It really is. I've seen it time and time again. It's just letting go and allowing. If something like you lose your job, and that upsets you so much because it's a job you loved, but that outside the radar, you have no idea what's coming in. You had to let go of that job for the new one to come in. And so that letting go comes in that point of where you are losing that job, it's going, and you're thinking, okay, I know there's something better coming in for me. This is all for my good. It's all for lifting me higher. I'm now ready to let it go. And when you do truly trust that and just totally let it go, that's when the universe brings in something else. And that something else may not be for a while. For example, if you've lost your job, then there may be a period of time where you're not finding any work. And you'll be saying, well, where's the divine in this? I need my next job. But the letting go is right in that moment, where that moment without that job is probably where you're needing to do some soul searching and to be happy with yourself, to find out what you truly love. And it's when you get to that point that the magic then comes in to bring you something even better. So it's kind of letting go of how you think things should be. It is all really that. It's letting go of how you think it should be and allowing the divine to show you, because it's so much better. So with that, I am going to zip up before more ideas come into my head. Enjoy listening to this podcast. Enjoy the feeling of letting go. And please do, in the comments, give me an example of where you've been able to let go, where that was probably hard for you, but you learned to truly let go and trust, and what happened through that letting go. Thank you so much for listening. Take care and have a beautiful start to the week. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found inspiration, tools, and a touch of magic to support your journey. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who might need it. And if you'd like to dive deeper, visit my website at nikkihoward.com, where you can learn about my upcoming membership, the Enchanted Sanctuary, a community for like-minded souls just like you, full of tools, creativity, and guidance to help you clear the path back to your true self. Until next time, take care of yourself, trust your path, and remember you are never alone on this journey.